In this lesson, we will learn about dynamic management for equipment assets. In previous lessons, we discussed the management of returning idle equipment. Now, let's look at the preservation and handling of idle equipment. Idle equipment refers to equipment that has been installed, accepted, and put into operation in the past, but is currently not needed in production and process operations. For a certain period, it neither creates value for the enterprise, nor utilizes production space effectively. It occupies fixed asset funds, incurs maintenance costs, and becomes a burden on the storage department. Therefore, enterprises must make use of idle equipment as early as possible. If the equipment is truly not needed, it should be disposed of or transferred to departments that require it. Equipment that has been idle for more than 3 months can be placed under preservation management. Preservation can be either on-site storage or warehouse storage. Generally, on-site storage is preferred. Equipment under preservation must be tagged with the preservation date noted on the tag. The preservation and recommissioning of equipment must be requested by the operating department and approved by the enterprise's equipment management department. A sealing application form must be filled out, and approval must be obtained before it takes effect. Equipment preserved for more than 1 year should be treated as idle equipment. Idle equipment in the factory is classified into 2 types, available for external transfer or kept for internal use. The enterprise's equipment management department should regularly report the details of idle equipment to the higher level authority. After preservation, equipment must be protected against dust, rust, and moisture. The power supply should be disconnected during preservation. Cooling water should be drained. Cleaning and maintenance work should be performed. Its parts, components, and accessories must not be used elsewhere. This ensures the equipment remains in good condition. Outdoor storage is strictly prohibited. Next, let's learn about equipment allocation and relocation. Equipment allocation refers to the transfer of equipment between enterprises. Both parties must follow the enterprise's equipment classification management rules to apply for allocation approval. Only after receiving the equipment transfer notice from the competent department can the transfer be processed. Equipment asset allocation can be either non-compensated transfer or compensated transfer. When the competent department determines the allocation is a non-compensated transfer, the transferring department must record the asset's original value and accumulated depreciation. Both parties must complete the transfer and asset record adjustment procedures. When it is determined to be a compensated transfer, both parties negotiate and conduct asset evaluation to determine a reasonable price. After receiving payment, the equipment transfer procedure shall be completed. The transferring department must cancel the equipment asset card. When transferring equipment, all attachments, special spare parts, manuals, and related documents should be handed over to the receiving unit. The receiving department must make payment according to the agreed price. If the equipment is being transferred to another location, the disassembly, sealing, packaging, and transportation costs shall be borne by the receiving enterprise. Equipment relocation refers to internal transfers or changes of location within the factory for equipment already installed and listed as fixed assets. The workshop shall not relocate or transfer it without authorization. It must have a relocation and transfer approval form signed by the process department, the original and receiving departments, and the equipment management department, along with the layout plan. After approval by the department head, the relocation may proceed. At the beginning of each quarter, the equipment management department compiles a report on equipment changes and sends it to the finance department and higher authorities. This serves as the basis for adjusting asset cards and accounts. Next, let's learn about equipment leasing. Equipment leasing involves the operation department renting equipment from the owning department and paying a certain rental fee. During the leasing period, the user has the right to use the equipment without changing ownership. This is a form of utilization. For the operation department, equipment leasing has the following advantages. First, reduces the need for equipment investment planning, reduces the occupation of fixed assets, and alleviates imbalances in equipment allocation. Leasing is particularly beneficial for seasonal or temporary equipment use. Second, Avoids the risk of technological obsolescence. As technology evolves rapidly, equipment replacement and upgrade occur quickly. The technological life of equipment shortens significantly. If the operation department purchases equipment but its utilization rate is low, the risk of technological obsolescence is high. Leasing can solve this problem. When new equipment becomes available, the old models can be promptly replaced with newer models. This ensures the equipment remains at the latest technological level. Third, reduces the need for maintenance personnel and lowers maintenance costs. Typically, the leasing contract specifies that the lessor is responsible for maintenance. Naturally, maintenance costs are included in the rental fee. This ensures the user receives reliable technical support and service. It also reduces the labor, material, and effort required for maintenance work. Fourth, shortens the enterprise's construction timeline. Leasing saves time. The economic benefits gained from time savings can be many times greater than those from purchasing through accumulated capital. Fifth, leasing procedures are simple, delivery is fast, and favorable for economic efficiency analysis. The leasing fee for a single piece of equipment can be included in the overall project cost, since leased equipment arrives quickly, while rental payment is made much later, typically paid once every 6 months during use. It is advantageous from an economic efficiency analysis perspective. Sixth, protects against inflation risk. The continual rise in equipment prices due to international inflation has almost become a pattern. By utilizing leasing, since the rental fee is set in advance and paid later, and remains fixed throughout the leasing period, the user is protected from the effects of inflation. Finally, let's look at equipment decommissioning. Equipment that can no longer be used due to severe physical wear or intangible obsolescence and is retired from service is considered decommissioned equipment. Equipment decommissioning affects the utilization of national and enterprise fixed assets. Efforts must be made to maximize potential and pursue innovation or retrofitting where possible. When equipment truly can no longer be utilized and meets one of the following conditions, the enterprise may apply for decommissioning disposal. Equipment that has exceeded its prescribed average service life. First, equipment whose main structure and components have been severely worn. Equipment whose performance can no longer meet the minimum process requirements. Equipment that cannot be repaired or has no repair or renovation value. Second, equipment that has been severely damaged due to accidents or disasters and cannot be repaired for use. Third, equipment that significantly harms the environment and would cause environmental pollution if continued to be used. Equipment that, if used, would endanger personal safety or health. Fourth, equipment for which repair or renovation is not economically viable. Fifth, equipment rendered obsolete due to product changes or process alterations. Such specialized equipment is difficult to modify and reuse. Sixth, old equipment replaced by technological renovation or upgrades that cannot be utilized or transferred. Seventh, high energy consuming equipment that should be eliminated according to national energy policies. This concludes all the content for this lesson. Please complete the post-class exercises and ensure a thorough review.